Am I live? I think I am, although I don't have very good connection. While I'm waiting for a minute, let me know if you can see this. I've obviously not moved into my semi permanent uh, cabin that I'm going to be in just yet, hence the reason I'm having to go live from my phone. So if you would let me know if you can even hear me, because I have no idea. JVR says hi. I assume I'm live and I assume you can hear me. Hello, Covey. Chelsea Daly, Alex Molnar, Elizabeth says hi. Nice. A Merry Christmas. We can hear you. Great. Perfect. JVR, JB, Alex Molnar, Nicholas Alvarez. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much. Colin Hackett, Merry Christmas, visiting from New Orleans, Louisiana. Mazen. Hello, Mazen. You turd. Kimberly SB, hello from Santa Barbara. All right, cool. Only show I have 2 bars, so I'll just see how this goes. I'm not. Oh my goodness, Melly says happy holidays with a $2 thingy. Thank you. I think I can heart that. Ooh, I didn't know I could do that. Rampage daughter, Merry Christmas from Australia. Hello, Chuck. All right. I'm in my temporary cabin at the moment in No Name, Wyoming. It's in western Wyoming. It's really cold here, and I've learned that I love the cold. I thrive up here. And I'm by myself, and it's Christmas Eve somewhere in the world, and it's almost Christmas for those of you who celebrate. And if you followed my channel any length of time, I've gone through. I was raised a Christian. I loved Christmas, and then all hell broke loose, and now, or I got really bitter and drunk and divorced and blah 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 blah. Now, fast forward to today. I'm now 4.5 years sober, and I made a post on my Facebook page, and a lot of people here don't follow me on Facebook, and I kind of keep them separate. If you didn't know one or the other, you'd think that it's two different people because I talk a lot of smack on Facebook, though I don't do it to be rude necessarily. It's just where I vent. And I made a happy Christmas post on my Facebook, and I got to talk to a lot of my friends. And a friend of mine named Jessica, I've never met her. She and I have just been Facebook friends for forever. I don't even know how long. And I said something to the effect of, "I'm aware that I come across as really," uh, or I said my something along the lines, "I hope everybody has gets jolly and sober and ripped for their new year." I said something along the lines of, "I'm aware that I come across as really crass and abrasive, and my point is not to be rude. I talk about obesity, I make fat jokes, I talk about alcoholism, and the reason I do this is I don't mean to come across as tacky. Anybody who knows me in real life, or if you've watched me here, I don't. My goal is not to be mean to a nice person. I don't mind being a dick to a dick. That doesn't bother me at all. It never has bothered me. Still doesn't bother me. But when I make these, drunk jokes or fat jokes, it's not, "Oh, you're fat, so I'm just going to make fun of you and make jokes just for the sake of making you feel bad because that makes me feel superior." That's not who I am. I make fat jokes and drunk jokes and dumb jokes and other types of jokes. I'm having to watch my language because I used to be that. I used to be a fat boy. I used to be a drunk, and now I'm not. And I'm also fully aware that I'm not healed. And this friend of mine, Jessica, pointed that out. She said, "I think what you're talking about is you're what they call a dry drunk." And I guess I'd heard the name, but I never looked into it. After all these years, 4.5 years of being sober, I, I, I I never went to AA. 2 years ago, I started a podcast here where I had a formal setup, and I will get to that point again. And I talked about my recovery and all that, and I just never went to AA. I just got sober on my own. I didn't even know anything about AA other than you show up to the meetings and say, "Hi, my name's Caleb, and I'm an alcoholic." And those of you who are around back then, y'all know how I feel about that. I'm glad AA exists, but I don't buy into their crap. I'm not going to go show up and tell a bunch of strangers I'm an alcoholic when I don't believe I am. And then Jessica pointed out that, well, maybe you're a dry drunk. And she gave a little testimony of a friend of hers. Um, he was an alcoholic, and he got sober, but he still had uh, kind of a lot of the feelings, the residual stuff. He was still bitter and angry. And I thought, you know what? You know, A, I admit it, and B, I need to work on it, but that's exactly what I am. So I looked up what it means to be a dry drunk. And I've forgive my setup here. Again, I'm using my phone. I've got my laptop here that I had to screenshot some definitions. And for any of you who may be still struggling with alcoholism, this is that time of year where people get depressed because maybe when they were a child they had great times with Christmas because it was family and togetherness and all that, and then now their life has set in and they've made mistakes, and um, they're no longer have their kids around or their family around, such as me. My kids and I are fine. I don't talk about my kids for those of you asking, but the boys and I are fine. London still hasn't talked to me. She's still got a problem with me that I can't really go into. But anyway, I've just learned to be embrace being alone in the holidays. I talked to the boys today. We're fine. Everything's good. They're doing their thing. And I just wanted to talk about what it means to be a dry drunk. I don't know that I am, but perhaps I am. It's not an official diagnosis. It's just kind of a coined slang term, apparently. So I pulled up dry drunk, and I just want to read a couple things and I guess self analyze myself. All right, I just, it's a dry drunk meaning. I'm going to have to get my glasses. I've been swearing I'm going to get them and I haven't done it, but I'm going to have to because I can't get the text any bigger. So this is what you got. A dry drunk refers to an individual who stopped drinking alcohol but still exhibits many of the negative behaviors, attitudes, and emotional patterns characteristic of their alcoholism. Key characteristics: number one, resentment and anger. And as soon as that popped up, I'm like, well, duh, I guess that's me. That because that does describe you. I'm not gonna lie. I don't let it consume me well, it consumes me every single day, but I don't exhibit it in my daily behavior necessarily. I went to the store today in this little town that I'm in that I have to keep anonymous because I don't want anybody stalking me. But this little town that I went to, everybody is happy and they had old Christmas music playing. I thought, you know what? I kind of like Christmas now again. I didn't for a long time. So to me, that was a little bit of improvement. I actually enjoy Christmas time. I enjoy listening to music and meeting all these strangers who have no idea who I am. They don't know any of my background and they're just polite and they're out doing their thing. Anyway, resentment and anger. Dry drunks often retain the resentment and anger they had while actively drinking, which can lead to irritability, defensiveness, and conflict with others. That has described me. Um, I do get irritable sometimes. I resent being, I say I'm broke. I mean, I'm not as wealthy as I had thought I should be at this time, considering how hard I worked in the oil field as a business owner, and then later as the divorces progressed, a subcontractor. because it was all taken from me. That's the part that I resent. Um, Defensiveness, maybe. I don't know if that applies to me so much. And then conflict with others. It's yeah, it's no big secret. When how do I put this? I can get along with anybody for any length of time as long as I know I don't have to be around them very long. Um, but like in close settings where I'm working with somebody, like when I do these jobs, I haven't done it in a while, but back when I was do it, when I would do those jobs, I'd be as friendly as I could be. I'm kind of quiet. I stick to myself. Yeah, hang on, I gotta turn this off because people are just bugging me. Um, but anytime someone gets a little irritated and they pop off, I pop off right back. Like I don't care if they fire me. I just don't care, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I just don't let anybody push me around. I used to. I used to be naive and I let people push me around, but if someone pops off to me, I have no problem popping right back at them and then say, we can either drop this and we'll be fine, or you can keep popping off and I'm going to wind up popping you in the mouth. That's where that's what I've evolved to. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's where I am. All right, number two, under the key characteristics. Number two, unaddressed underlying issues. Dry drunks uh, may, n- may not have confronted or resolved the underlying emotional, psychological, or traumatic issues that contributed to their alcoholism in the first place. I think I have addressed the underlying issues. I am pissed at my ex wife and her simp husband for what they did to me and my children. At the same time, I fully acknowledge I chose her and that's where I screwed up. I'm open about that. A lot of times that's one of my criticisms online I see of people is everybody's got a narcissistic ex. And everyone leads you to believe that they basically did nothing wrong. It was always their narcissistic ex. And that's irritating to me because if you don't ever admit you've done something wrong, I mean, come on. Everybody's done something wrong. I'm very, very open. I screwed up. I chose a woman to make four babies with that I wasn't compatible with. And then once all hell broke loose and we got divorced and she sued me and jailed Blaine and took Parker and blah, blah, blah. What did I do to cover up that pain or deal with my problems? I screwed up again and I chose alcohol, like probably 80 or 90% of this country. And it was the wrong thing to do. I screwed up. I own it. So when it, and this number two, it says unaddressed underlying issues. And I may have more. I don't know. But that was a underlying issue. You jailed me, bitch. You jailed our son. You took everything. You took everything, and that's the underlying issue. And I have addressed it. All right, let's go to number three. Old habits and behaviors. There may they may still engage in unhealthy habits such as substance abuse, addictive behaviors, or self-destructive patterns, even if they're no longer drinking alcohol. No, I don't do well. I dip snuff. Um, I, I dip tobacco, but is that really substance abuse? It's not mind altering or anything. It's not like I even get a buzz off of it. I've been doing it for 35 years or whatever. So if that's considered substance abuse, I guess. I haven't done acid in a year. If I had some right now, I would because I enjoy psychedelics. But even after I've done dropped a few tabs of acid, I can easily and prefer going months before I ever do it again. Because if you've never done a hallucinogenic like that, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you have, you're like, oh yeah, well, of course you know hit some mushrooms or acid or whatever, and you're good for like months. So I don't think that one really applies to me. Self-destructive behavior, that can't possibly apply to me that I know of. I work out constantly. Here in the last few months, I've not had access to a gym, so I've taken up running, and I run every day. My landlords here, I'm on this massive, massive ranch. They probably look at me funny, like, "What are you doing out there running with the cows?" And I got chased by some cows today, and it was fun because cows, if you've never been around them, they're like gigantic puppy dogs. Their nature is they're harmless, but long story short, I let the feed tractor through and I shut the gate for him just as a favor. And he smiled and waved and said, "Yeah, just shut it if you don't mind." And so he drives through. And normally, I've watched them, the cows follow him, and there's hundreds of thousands of them. In this particular field, there's like 200 of them. Well, for whatever reason, the cows thought, I guess, they acted like they thought I was the feed truck or the feed tractor. The tractor drove on with all the feed, like the hay and the little dispenser thing they had to sling it around. And so tractor's going that way, and I'm running this way, just doing my normal jog out in this between a it's an open field and about a foot to a foot and a half of snow. And I was trying to stay on some kind of little trail so I wouldn't get my feet completely covered in snow. Well, the cows followed me instead. And not being a cow person, I kind of understand the philosophy of cows. They're herd animals, and they got they're bouncing around and like they're excited. I'm like, hey, yeah, good cows, good cows. Don't freaking trample me and don't have a stampede. And I wound up running out to there's a fenced area out there where all the hay is. I'm like, all right, y'all get away because you're kind of making me nervous because there's literally 200 cows, 200, at least 200, maybe 300. I mean, there was a bunch of them. They were jumping in the snow and they all weigh about, I don't know, 2,000 pounds a piece. So you do the math. I don't know. There's like half a million pounds of meat jumping around. Anyway, my point is, I got a little sidetracked. Self-destructive behaviors. I don't cut myself. I don't. I mean, I might mouth off to some people and risk getting in a fight. Maybe I don't know. I haven't been in one, but I don't abuse substances other than the snuff. So anyway, moving on. Number four, lack of emotional regulation. Dry drunks may struggle with managing their emotions, headed or leading to mood swings, anxiety, and depression. That has been me in the past. I'd get drunk back in the day, and I'd start looking at pictures of the kids or whatever, and just start bawling. That over the last 4.5 years, occasionally that'll hit me because the kids are growing up and moving on, doing their own thing. London hasn't spoken to me, so but not really. Someone mouths off to me online, I get a kick out of just mouthing back. So I don't know that mood swing part, or no more than anybody else. Anxiety. I don't really have anxiety anymore. I used to real bad, but once I quit drinking, the anxiety quit. Depression. Mm, I've certainly had depression. I don't think I have it now. I'm pissed. I'm bitter because I'm not financially where I think I should be. All right, number five, unhealthy relationships. Uh, their relationships with others may remain strained or dysfunctional uh, if they haven't addressed the underlying issues that contributed to their addiction. It is no big secret. My father and I went 5 years without speaking. We had a falling out, of which I'm not going to go into because it's irrelevant. Um, we went but about two and a half. What the hell? My thing just went. Well, I can keep going. I'll pull it back up. Uh, Dad, about 2.5 years ago, 2.5 years ago, Dad and I, we made contact, and we've talked these things out. We're fine. I mean, we both acknowledge what happened. We've both acknowledged our faults in it. It is what it is. It's not ideal, but I can call him up anytime. I call mom, when I wasn't speaking to dad, obviously I wasn't speaking to mom either. She wasn't speaking. We just weren't talking. But mom and I, like, I stayed at their house. Like, I was there like 2 weeks ago for like a week. Dad and I, we're just different people. He's got different ideas, but overall, we're fine. And mom and I are great. Like, mom and I are like peas and carrots. I am a mama's boy. I'm a very strange mama's boy, but I'm a mama's boy nonetheless. Um, so I think I'm fine there. Let me pull back. Hang on. I got to find my photo booth. It just fell off. Photo booth. There we go. So the unhealthy relationships. Um, I guess mine and London's relationship's unhealthy because we haven't spoken almost 5 years. But there's nothing else I can do about that. My phone is open. She's got my number. And I've tried reaching out, but I'm also respecting her boundaries. The boys and I are fine. Relationships. I don't have a girlfriend or a wife. I'm on good terms with pretty much all of them except my kid's mother. That one's unhealthy. Duh. I acknowledge that. I don't even try to hide that. I'm obviously bitter about that. Let's go to the next one. Origins. The term dry drunk originated in the 12-step program Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, where it was coined to describe individuals who had stopped drinking but still exhibited many of the same negative behaviors and attitudes as when they were actively drinking. Ironically, I was always I didn't drink around a lot of people very often, like every now and then, but usually I'm such an introvert. Believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, somebody's got a YouTube channel that goes live and does podcast. I am an introvert. I stay to myself, but I where was I going with that? Negative behaviors back when they were drink. I lost my train of thought. Coined, describe, they stop drinking. I don't know where I was going with that. Me being an introvert, and oh well. Prevalence estimates, and yes, I will get. I just want to get through about another, just a couple more minutes, few more minutes, and then I'll chat with y'all and see what y'all have to say about or experience with dry drunks, or maybe you're a dry drunk yourself. I don't know. I'll get to comments. Prevalence estimates suggest that up to 75% of people recovering from alcohol use disorder, AUD, may experience symptoms of post acute withdrawal syndrome, PAWS, PAWS, which can manifest similarly to dry drunk syndrome. Okay, coping and recovery. To overcome dry drunk syndrome, individuals often need to, and there's a list of 4 things they suggest or need to do. Engage in formal treatment, such as therapy or counseling, to address underlying issues. I don't like going to counselors. I've been to a few, and it just seems like they want to take your money and get the thrill of telling you what a fucked up life you've had. Maybe I do need to go see someone because I just can't get over the bitterness. Formal treatment, who can afford that? Number two, join a support group like AA or a similar organization to connect with others who have experienced similar struggles. I may do that. Just this little town I'm in is so tiny. I don't know that they have an AA. For those of you that don't know, got sober completely outside of AA. Like I knew nothing of AA. I just decided to quit, and I've had my own way of doing it, and some people like it and agree with it, and some people vehemently disagree with uh, my opinion of AA, that they all have to say they're an alcoholic and show up, and people that the whole topic gets the AA people like really irritated at me because they're like, "You don't know what you're talking about," and then I'm like, "You're right, I don't, because I never went to AA because I don't think I need it, and I'm fine, other than being resentful, and bitter." And I'm open to the fact, or open to the idea that maybe AA could help me with this. Maybe it can. I don't know. I do know that I don't like being bitter and angry for still being relatively broke compared to what I think I should be. So therefore, I am open to the idea of going to AA, not to get sober, stay sober, because I don't need any help with that, like at all. If anything, I think AA people could benefit for me. And this is the part where people get mad at. They think I'm being arrogant when I talk like this. And I'm not trying to be arrogant. Like, I'm old, I'm wrinkly, I've got gray hair, receding hairline. I'm 47, and again, I'm not destitute, but I'm not where I think I should be. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm trying to help people that think they have to go to a meeting in order to stay sober. I'm like, dude, it's all in your head. You make up your mind that all alcohol is poison to all humans all the time, and if you have the desire to live or get better and not feel sick, make up your mind you don't want to poison yourself. Bam, voila, boom. It's literally that simple. And if someone like me, if I can do it, I think anybody can do it. But I'm open to the idea that maybe I can talk to some of these AA people and help me get over this fucking bitterness that I've got about being broke. The bull market, the bull run where I've gotten most of my portfolio is currently rising. So knock on wood, knock on wood, it's going good. And if I play my cards right and things work out the way I think they're going to work out, then the being broke part is about to very soon be alleviated. If not being broke fixes my bitterness, I am concerned that is it just having that money is what's keeping me from being bitter. Therefore, if it was taken from me, would I go back to being bitter? And if it is that way, then maybe I still have a problem. And even if I do like become a millionaire in the next few months, and I don't exhibit the bitterness or feel the bitterness, maybe I still probably need to stay on top of this and find out how to really spiritually, not just physically, but spiritually heal myself. Number three, develop healthy coping mechanisms and emotional regulation strategies. I guess this is me doing that, getting online and spilling my guts about how fucked up I am. Uh, number four, focus on building and maintaining positive, healthy relationships. The boys and I are great. Like, we are good. They've got their struggles, and I'm doing my part as their father of grown adult men, doing the best I can to, because Parker lives in Texas, Blaine lives in Florida, and I'm in Wyoming. They want to be there. They're grown. They can be there, but I don't want to be in the South because I effing hate the South. I like up here in Wyoming where it's cold, really, really cold. and I'm a grown man, so I could be a peer. So, but again, we talk like not every day, but 2 or 3 times a week, all of us, and we're fine. So when it says focus on building and maintaining positive, healthy relationships, we're good. I I don't have a girlfriend. I had one last year, and we're still friends. And I hate to be sound like that guy, but we really are. She's a nice person. I'm just not ready. Like I'm still not ready. I don't want to be alone, but until I fix whatever is bothering me, I don't have any business being in a relationship. And if any of you or anything like me, perhaps you need to fix yourself first before you get lonely and just go shack up with the first pretty thing that winks at you. That would be my recommendation. All right, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to get to see how y'all are doing. Talk to me. Mm. Mazetic says, "What's up?" Gallagher, Merry Christmas, Caleb. Merry Christmas, Gallagher. Cheerful Croissant, Merry Christmas, sir. Mazen Dam, so no more Florida, Caleb. No, no. At least not now. Maybe eventually, but as of right now, no. I still haven't given up on sailing a little bit, but at the moment, I really do really Mazen, I do like really really good in the cold. Like I run about 3 to 6 miles a day, and sometimes it's as cold. It's been as cold as 3 degrees, and I'll run a full 3 miles or jog, and I love it. Colin Hackett, since I'm still dealing with depression and anxiety, I'm going for a 1 lap jog starting and finishing to my hotel in downtown New Orleans, Louisiana. I don't think you can go wrong with running. Anytime I've ever, I do it every day, and sometimes I do it multiple times a day. And I, even if I don't feel like going, I have never once regretted go ahead and get all my warm weather gear on and start and go run at least a mile or two. I've never ever once regretted it. So keep going. Zach Tunes 2024. Sup, Notorious Dad. Hello, Zach Tunes. Rumsha Joffrey House Parker. He's great, and I don't talk about it and the only reason is I get asked that a bazillion times. Mazen, if anyone wants TV show suggestions, just let me know, and I got you. I got this whole list of TV shows I've watched. I know, and Lost is one of them, and I still haven't watched it. And I remember I've looked it up. I've got Amazon Prime, and I don't even have Netflix anymore. I canceled it. Um, I might have HBO, maybe, but whatever I have still doesn't have it. But I haven't forgotten, Mazen. Nicholas Alvarez wanted to say I'm 7 months sober from alcohol, and your videos have helped me. Thank you for that. Man, I wish I had my applause, my well done, well done. If I had my applause button in my new when I get set up, I'll have it. And well done, Nicholas. Badass, dude. Just keep going. Just keep staying sober. It never gets boring. I mean, I get lonely and bored and irritated, and obviously, I've got some mental things I still got to get through. But I never, ever, ever regret getting sober and remaining and staying sober. Mazetic, if you're in northern Wyoming, it's about an hour away from the Rockies, which is a fantastic place to hike or jog if you want to see sights and explore. I assume I'm in western, kind of midwestern, sort of, kind of by Jackson Hole. I'll just say I'm in the Jackson Hole area. Colin Hackett, I'm visiting New Orleans for the holiday, then headed to Seattle, Washington on Thursday for family, and back to Indianapolis, Indiana on Tuesday. You got a long lot of traveling. Rumsha Joffrey. Okay, that's good. Okay. Oh yeah, about Parker. Yeah. Again, I don't mean to sound flippant about it, but I just I've just been asked that so many times. Texas 10. Hey, Caleb, Merry Christmas from Beeville, Texas. Montana's beautiful. Did some work there while in the oil field in 2014. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Texas 10. I've been up to Montana a few times. Um, Montana is a huge state. There's a couple places that I drove through I didn't like, but there's also more mountainous parts that I absolutely love. But I just like Wyoming. This is me. Mazin, bro, it's from okay, from not Lost. Okay, even though that's a good show too. You love Lost. Okay, from Lost. They're both four letters. Uh, Ben and Lindsay. I'm not sure what that means. Texas 10. Been sober from alcohol for 2 years now. Outstanding. Uh, Mazetic, I gotcha. I had to travel from Wyoming for school about a year ago, so I know it's not far. Okay, I still don't know which town you're talking about. Tetons? I haven't climbed the Tetons. I've driven by them and they're beautiful. Um, I once drove from Rigby, Idaho, across the line, the Wyoming Idaho line, and saw the Tetons and hung around. This was like 10 years ago in Jackson. That was my very first experience with Wyoming. And oh my God, it was so beautiful. But I was still an alcoholic, drunk back then. And, anyways, I one of these days, maybe Sunday soon, I'm going to, when I cash in, I plan on hiking and going and hiking the Tetons. Colin Hackett, have you been to Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee? I have not. I have, and I really like Elvis Presley's music. Um, I, I just don't like the South. I, I'm not trying to talk shit about people from Tennessee. I've got some friends live in Tennessee, and Elvis, God rest his soul. Yeah, he's a good singer, but he hell, he was younger than me when he died. He was probably what, 44, 46. I'm 47, or maybe it's 47. Just alcohol and drugs, and again, obviously he was an amazing singer, and he did some neat things. That's just it's just not my thing. Zach Tunes 2024, wishing you a very Merry Christmas from New Mexico. Thank you, Zach Tunes. Connie Moreno. Hi, Caleb. Hello, Connie. Um, so God made a farmer. I remember you. I just saw your running video from earlier, wondering what the hell you've been doing. Learned to run on the pad of my foot in the army to help my hip and back pain, not hitting your heels on each stride. I've tried that. I had, I still have a back problem. I can tell it's still there, but oddly enough, God made a farmer. Um, The more I run, the less my back hurts, and it's just I still can't wrap my brain as to why. On any given day, as long as I don't miss a day running, on any given day, my back pain stays at about a 0 to a 1, and it's never been that low, like, ever, especially back in the oil field when towards the end, 2019, or when COVID's hit, February of 2020, that was about uh, my last hoorah. I did a few jobs and that was it. Alcoholism was at its peak. My back would just go out, and hell, I was 43 at the time, but it would go out so bad that I'd actually collapse, like just standing there. I would literally just fall. Just it would hit it. The pain would hit a 10, just briefly. Like it felt like someone stuck my spine with an ice pick. Where I go? Running on the pad feels totally wrong, but you kind of learn to run and it makes it feel easier in learning it. Oh, that's what I was going at. Yeah, I have done that, and I did it for a good while, and That was back when I was still going to the gym, and I'd always do calf raises, and I've got some hella calves, like hella calves, and so I would try running on while I was strengthening my back through running. I'd run on the pads of the ball of my feet, and it would just really get a good burn in my calves, and I liked it. I don't always do it. I kind of mix it up now when I'm running, especially out here running in the pastures in Wyoming, and particularly the pastures in Wyoming that are now snow covered. Some of it's packed snow, some of it's fluffy snow, and you don't know what's underneath necessarily. So I gotta have my ankles have to be able to float. And Maz, I'm surprised his live stream isn't in black and white. Heart, heart, heart. Austin J. Hillhouse says hi. Yes, Mazen, I'm old, I know. And you will too be old someday, young man. Brett Chamberlain, I'm a mama boy too. You're a mama's boy too, Brett? Yeah, people who see me on the internet that think I'm a total dick, they're like, he's lying. And then they meet me in person. They're like, oh, I really am just a big, cuddly, soft bundle of fuzz. And my mom is just my favorite human being. Mazzetic, my fault. I traveled to Laramie, Wyoming from Larimer County. Okay, I just where I'm at now. I was in that Laramie's where I came from. I stayed in a hotel there. I don't know, a couple weeks. Um, I like Laramie. It's fine. It's not the prettiest. They do have that. There's a real neat ski resort there that I went. Actually skied there a couple years ago for the first time in like 30 years. When you drive south out of Laramie, or maybe it's kind of southwest. I forgot what it's called, but you really quickly get into the mountains, and it's real pretty. Where's Parker? He is in Texas. Colin Hackett. I also like the Liberty Bell in Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and thought it was cool as heck. In case if you're blending, I do like to travel a lot. I I've driven through Pennsylvania. I went through Philadelphia, and that was like that. But you get over on the western side where there's mountains and they've got those tunnels, and those are really cool. You drive through those big tunnels. I just the eastern seaboard and all of the south. I just don't have any desire to ever go back. I've had a gutful. Um, Mazetic, my brain is scattered. Connie Moreno, do you still talk to Parker? Well, of course. Like I talked to him today and yesterday and probably a couple days before that. Yeah, Parker and I are great. Mazen, some of y'all got to be new or slow as fuck because he said like 100 times before he don't talk about his kids. Thank you, Mazen. They got their own private life. They're good. Yeah. Well, Mazen, just be nice. I'm trying to be nice, but at the same time, if I have to address that same question, how's Parker out of the kids, blah blah blah, it's not fair to the people who show up here regularly because they don't want to keep hearing the same thing. Nicholas Alvarez, Connie, he said they're doing great. Yeah. Bailey Hoover, hey man, hello Bailey. Colin Hackett, traveling also helps me with depression and anxiety. Yeah, I can see that. I just traveled a lot simply because I knew I didn't want to be in the South. I knew I didn't want to be in California, although California is beautiful. It's just too peoply. And I don't like the East Coast for the same reasons, too peoply. I like traveling just because I knew I didn't want to be in the South or the East Coast. And I didn't know where I wanted to be. So I literally drove until I found a place that I liked. And now I like, as long as I'm 7,000 feet or above, in a very northern latitude where it's really cold and it's cold, dry air, I thrive. And not a lot of people. Mazen, I'm a mama's boy too. Are you really, Mazen? I don't remember you telling me that. My mom is amazing. I am so glad you think so. A lot of people think that I'm a misogynist because I make fun of the behavior of single moms a lot. and they think I'm always hating on. They call me a hater. Like, you must hate all women. You're a misogynist, and I'm really not. I just have this beef with the behavior of single moms, and obviously it stems to the whole point of this dry drunkenness video that I'm talking about, where I'm angry about the behavior. Of course, she's not single, but she was for about that long. That long. I just don't like the behavior because I know I've been on the receiving end of a lot of that behavior. Zach Tunes 2024. I love my mom too. Well done. You should. Mazetta, yeah, I've been in the mountains a few times. Estes Park is crowded as hell, but it's all to be expected. I'm not sure. I've never heard of Estes Park, which isn't surprising. That's one thing I've also learned. There are loads and loads of parks in this country, particularly in the Pacific Northwest and the mountain, all the color or all the Rocky Mountain areas. Nelson Garcia, Merry Christmas, Caleb. Hope you have a good Christmas. Mine have been rough, the last ones. I've had plenty of rough ones, and maybe this one it could be rough because I'm alone, but I've just learned to accept it is what it is. You stay sober, you stay healthy, you exercise a lot. There's a lot of pain right there you can alleviate. I mean, yeah, I'm old and I've got normal aches and pains like anybody else, but life sucks anyways. Why would you want to continue living it in drunkenness and being broke because you're having to pay for the booze, and then you're having to wake up the next day and realize, oh shit, what did I mouth off online? Or did I drunk call an ex-girlfriend? Or did I say something stupid to somebody and don't even remember? At least you don't have to deal with that. So that's just me, how I look at it. There are some things I don't like about my life at the moment, but I just try to be happy anyways. Um, I'm bitter because of what happened to me. At the same time, I don't have any responsibility. I've deliberately made my life where I'm responsible only for myself, and obviously I don't have to, but I feel like I should talk to my boys and still be able to give them some fatherly advice, which I do. But for the most part, as lonely as I do get, and I'd love to find somebody, I also realize I can't because I got to fix me. But while I'm fixing me, I get to go around with cows every day in the cold and the snow. And I shoveled snow for the first time right out this door where I'm at. I've I mean, I guess I've shoveled it, but there's like 3 or 4 days it's kept snowing. It was real light, only like 3 or 4 inches a day, but overnight it would stack up. And I've never had to, and I know snow people are like, "Oh, this guy's insane." They grew up, they always had to shovel snow, they hate it. I thought it was fun. I liked it. But I haven't had to do it my whole life, so. Brett Chamberlain, do you like Bullet for My Valentine? I have no idea what that is. So God made me a farmer. Been to Du Bois a handful of times, going snowmobiling at Togwotee, Wyoming. I probably butchered that. Name. That's one town I haven't been to. The Tetons are such a good type of mountain range. I've just been around them. I haven't hiked them, but that's next. Nicholas Alvarez. I'm 22 and entering the Navy soon. I'm excited to finally get out of San Diego for the first time. Hopefully, discover who I am a bit. Well, the Navy, that'll do it. Good luck. I don't know anything about armed forces. I never have been. I've never, I understand why people want it because you do get clarity and you do get structure. And I know it does help a lot of people. I'm one of those guys that if you talk to me like shit, I'm liable to. I would have been court-martialed and kicked out and dishonorably discharged, but that's just my personality. But good for you. Hopefully, if you do go, the politicians don't ever send you over to fight unjust wars. I just have a big problem with that. Um, I don't like the wars that we're in. I don't think any of them are just. Um, all these rich guys know each other, and it's just their way of slapping their dicks around and sending young men to go fight other young men that don't even know each other for reasons that it's all a lie. So just be careful. Um, Not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just saying, uh, get what you can as far as structure. Um, Appreciate the discipline, the good things you can get from it, but also keep in mind that. Um, Powerful, rich, greedy assholes generally run countries, and they tend to not care about us peons. So, Sue Bear 63. Hey, Caleb, first time I caught alive, old friend. Really, I don't recognize your usernames. I assume we're maybe Facebook friends, but hi, Sue Bear 63. Zach Tune 2024. I've never been, but it seems like California is so hot. I could lose 20 pounds just standing outside for like 30 seconds. Texas is hot. Florida's hot. Southern California in the desert in the Mojave part of California is hot, but I have been to Northern California, and no, I didn't get to see the what do you call those trees? The sequoias. Um, Long story, but yeah, it was chilly up there. So I mean, but California's huge, like huge, huge. Mazetic, I don't see why you've said multiple times in your videos that single mothers go through the same thing as you did. Yeah, they do. A lot of them do. Again, that's just me, and I'm not quite sure I'm following your comment there, but I don't hate single moms. It's just because a lot of them have gone through the same thing. It just so happens that it's in family court, it's mostly the men that get screwed. I'm fully aware that there are some single moms. And so that's why when I make fun of the behavior, I'm obviously not picking on the single moms that really did nothing any worse than I did to deserve the punishment they got and got their children unjustly taken away. Obviously, I'm not talking about them. But they call it single mom jokes because it's just a there is it's you there is behavior of a lot of single moms, obviously not all, but a lot of them that is questionable, and they do some dumb crap. But there's single fathers that do there's douchey men too. I'm fully aware of that. I'm really critical of both. So Colin Hagen, I'm going to head to bed at my hotel. It's 1 a.m. here in New Orleans. I'll see you the next time you go live. Merry Christmas and good night. Well, Merry Christmas and good night to you, Colin. Awkward Texan. Hi, Caleb. Good to see you doing well. Hello, Awkward Texan. Um, Aaliyah says hello. Eric Jordan, I'm so glad you were. Hang on. I'm so glad you were you. Like it. Oh, you're where you like it. Wyoming is an absolutely beautiful state. Good to see you back on. Well, thank you, Eric Jordan. I love it here. Just like love it, love it. Maz, a new Karate Kid movie coming starring actors from the past Karate Kid movies, Ralph Macchio and Jackie C. I saw that, Maz. Jackie Chan is in the new Karate Kid. I'm like, please don't let it be woke. Please don't let it be woke. Please don't let it be woke. Because I haven't seen all the Jackie Chan movies, but that dude's just a legend. And I just I thought I didn't think I would like the Cobra Kai, but I didn't finish the last season, but I really liked it. It's a little cheesy, but I like the cheesiness with I forgot that actor's name. William Zebu, the guy that played the Daniel's adversary in the original. I forgot his name. Anyway, he's just an old '80s type rocker. Doesn't like. I like how they adapted it. Nelson Garcia, yeah, that's true. Connie Moreno, do you have any advice on how to move on from the past? Yeah. You want the long version or the short version? Uh, weirdly enough, I did learn to let that go. What I haven't let go is the bitterness of me of what she did to me, jailing me and making me go absolutely completely broke. Um, moving on, I would say ultimately have some self-respect. Respect who you are. If they left you, or well, I guess it just depends. If you left, let's see, what was moving on from the past? I'm assuming moving on from the past of a former relationship. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. If they dumped you, have some self-respect, wish them well, and if you're not wanted, just accept it. Okay, they didn't want me. Look deep inside and find out maybe you did screw up, or maybe they screwed up and left you for somebody else. That's on them, but have some self-respect, and you don't even have to be mad about it. Yeah, you might have loved them. Again, I'm just assuming you say moving on from the past. I'm assuming there was a relationship you're talking about. Have some self-respect. Um, whatever the reason it happened, it's over. Don't ever go back groveling back. Just know that if you set your mind to it, to get yourself in shape, and don't be like Caleb and get over the bitterness. You can go learn a new skill, learn a new trade, learn a new hobby, skiing, skydiving, scuba diving. Um, it's I've had the easiest time letting go of things in my past once I got in shape, because we're all getting older. Everybody gets older. And the older you get, shit falls apart and starts sagging and muscles atrophy. And that is one thing that has really kept my spirits up. In all the bitterness and resentment that I've had for what the kid's mother did to me, being able to be old as shit as I am, like Mazin likes to point out all the time, and having biceps like I've got, and I am fast as fuck, boy. I am fast. I can run. I can run like the wind. And when you have the ability to do shit like that, you get to stop focusing on what you miss about something else, and you can divert your time and your interest by doing something new that you've never done, or maybe not sport or athletic as much, although regardless of what pick an instrument. I don't know if you play music. I am not musical. I love music. I enjoy listening to. In fact, I just turned on my Spotify tonight for the first time. I am so jealous of people that can just pick up a piano or a guitar or a flute or a set of drums or whatever and just start playing. If you've never tried it, maybe you'd be good at it, because there's nothing cooler than just showing up in a place and just cracking your knuckles and just start playing the piano. Because who doesn't love listening to the piano? There's this guy I follow, this kid, something musique. I forgot his name. He's got an Instagram, and he just plays piano, and then he like sets in malls and he sets his camera up and he just starts playing and he gets people's reactions and he takes requests, and he's got like 1 million followers. And I don't Camden Music, I think is his name. And I don't know, whatever it is you're trying to let go, focus on something else, whether it's running or sports or hobbies or music or whatever. Make music, try something else. That'd be my suggestion. So God made a farmer. I've been on Estes Park, Colorado. That's an ultra rich snob person town. I hated that place. I'm not a big fan of. Well, it's unfortunately Denver's what ruins Colorado. There's some really neat places that want to annex into like Idaho or the northern part of um, Colorado, they want to get annexed into Wyoming, and it's just Denver that's the most, and then the outskirts of Denver. Sue Bear 63, yeah, we are Facebook friends and have been for over a decade. Okay. Um, Tag me on something on Facebook so I'll know which one. I think I probably have like 10 friends named Sue. I feel kind of stupid. I'm sorry. Brett Chamberlain, it's better to be alone than be with bad company for the rest of your life. I think so. And by the way, Brett, I'm going to be a grammar Nazi. It's than, THAN. It's better to be alone than be in bad company. I'm just teasing, but I am right. I know I am. See, Bear, there's truth to stereotypes. Yep. I'm not sure. I may be way behind on my comments, but yes, stereotypes exist for a reason. My suggestion on stereotypes, people get offended and say, you should stereotype people. That's borderline sexist or racist or homophobic. Get over it. Yeah, I'd just say there's single fathers, there's stereotypes about me. I just learned to laugh at them. Mazen, you got a big nose. Okay. Zach Tunes 2024. This is the first live stream of yours that I've caught. Okay. I haven't done a lot of them lately. I plan on doing more as soon as I get into my next cabin. I'm going to set up I do have all my, out of all the crap I brought in my little bitty car, I did bring all my podcast stuff. So Mazin, yeah, because Jackie Chan was in the 2010 Karate Kid starring Jaden Smith. Really? I hope Jaden does the cat. I had no idea. I didn't even know they made a 2010, but that shouldn't be surprising. My knowledge of pop culture between 1997 when I got married till my divorce in '07, remarried, divorced in 2012. So about 97 to 2017, 18, my knowledge of pop culture is real hit and miss. There's a lot of things I just people tell like he imagine saying Jackie Chan was in a 2010. I had no idea they even made a Karate Kid in 2010. Nelson Garcia, true. Yasim Austin, be quiet. Mazen wouldn't be a Caleb stream if he didn't show off his tiny biceps or mention how slow he is at running. He is, yes. And it wouldn't be a Caleb live stream if Mazen didn't show how incredibly jealous he is of this old man that he couldn't beat out of a wet paper bag in a boxing ring. Nobody cares. Okay. I'm not sure you're talking to me or someone else. Nelson Garcia, you're not old, Caleb. There are a lot of people older than you. Yes, I know. But I'm also not going to pretend that I'm some young buck. Although I'm in better shape than most young bucks. I can confidently say that. Zach Toon, if I were to try to play an instrument, it'd be the steel guitar. I had an uncle who played steel guitar. I never saw it, but I always heard about it. Uh, I don't know how to say this. Something driving empire. Why is there so many trash talkers in this? Well, Mazen's just a little shit. He's not really trash talking. He's more like just ball busting. He's a good kid. There may be some dickheads in here, and I don't know. Just I used I've when I was going live regularly, I had some moderators, and I haven't gone live regularly, and so they probably like gave up on me. But once I get going, I'll get the moderators, and people just being straight up trolly dicks. I'll just block them. Nicholas Alvarez, big mistake I made was let a girl treat me like ass for 2 years because I liked the way she looked, and she gave me attention. Respect yourself. Still, the first couple of months were pretty fun though. Yeah, usually how it goes. And unfortunately, that's when how a lot of babies get made because when when the new hasn't wore off, they're a lot of fun, and the new wears off, and you've made adult decisions on doing things you probably shouldn't have done if you'd have got to know them. Yeah, don't ever if in my opinion, if someone dumps you, just accept it and move on. Don't beat yourself up. You've got to show some self-respect. It just didn't work out. Maybe you're just not that person. You're not as good looking as you thought. And this is me talking to me too. I've got my flaws. I've got this nasally voice. I've got wrinkles now. I'm just not the cup of tea for some people, and I just acknowledge that. And some people they're not interested in me, and some people don't like my attitude. Some people say, "Well, you exploited your cheerings for money." Blah blah blah. I just learned to don't. I don't give a fuck if someone doesn't like me. If you just move on. Tricks. What happened after the famous video? Oh, tricks. Go look at this channel a whole bunch. I went to jail, family court jail. Blaine got jailed. I got one of those caught on camera. I won custody of Blaine. I've gotten sober since then. I did a podcast about sobriety called uh, Recovered, the Fully Recovered Podcast. Lots and lots and lots. Brett Chamberlain, they did it. It was good. I liked the movie. Oh, I assume you're talking about Karate Kid and Mazin. That's what I meant by they're combining stars from both Karate Kid movies from the past. Oh, okay, okay. Kimberly SB, you look good for your age. Well, thank you, Kimberly. I feel great for my age, other than still being bitter. Hence the reason I guess I'm a dry drunk. I don't know. I don't know if I like that term. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Connie Moreno, sorry I'm asking questions, but if someone's being mean to you, picking on you, how do you deal with it? Oh, ask away, Connie. I don't mind at all. Um, if someone's being mean to you, picking on you, how do you deal with it? Connie, I'm glad you asked that. I love this question. This is my recommendation for if someone's picking on you, being a bully, being a dick. Here is what I have learned, Connie. The reason, or one of the reasons I'm so adamant about sobriety and physical fitness is, and this is what I tell people, is particularly young people all the time, people that feel vulnerable or weak or trapped or scared or constantly, looking around over their shoulder. If you get sober and remain sober, and if you get physically strong, you work out and raise your heart rate for at least 20 minutes a day, every single day, and you cut out the carbs and eat high protein and quit drinking shit out of a can or food out of a box or a potato package, and you eat protein and avocados and berries and yogurt and sauerkraut, and that's basically all I eat, oranges, and you get strong as shit, and you watch loads of documentaries on YouTube and you read books, you self-educate yourself and you get strong. I have learned that the stronger you are and the smarter you are, the more difficult you are to fuck with. Because I'm not saying that there's not somebody out there younger and bigger and stronger and more MMA and to totally whip my ass, because there are. I'm fully aware. And I don't go picking fights, but I like being, I think I'm sharp witted on most things. I know for a fact I'm in better shape than 99% of the 47-year-olds alive on this planet, particularly in fat ass America. And I'm pretty sure I'm in better shape than probably 80 to 90% of people half my age in their 20s, because I work at it constantly. Again, I don't go picking fights. I don't go try to look for trouble. But if you, Connie, if you work out and you get in great, great shape and you're educated and someone mouths off, you can be the wittiest people I've noticed are usually they're really intelligent. They're really well versed. They've read a lot. They've watched a lot of documentaries. They know things. You can mouth off real back real quick because you just know shit. Like Trivial Pursuit type stuff. And then if you're big on top of that or strong and in shape, um, people just yeah, unfortunately, it's always the fat kids in school when I was a kid that got picked on. And it sucks, but that's just how it is. Mazin, my hate is from a place of love. Yes, he's just a young punk little shit that just needs to get it. I just need to thump him on the head a few times. No, Mazin's great. Tricks, I'm so happy that you turned down alcohol. It takes a lot of courage. Thank you. Um, I don't know if it took courage. It just took mind power. I I don't know how many of my lives you've watched where I talk about it. Once you make up your mind that all alcohol is poison to all humans all the time, it literally is poof that easy. Yeah, you look great for your age. Tiny biceps? No, they're not. They're probably a little bit down now, but I had at age 16. He had 16 inches, and I was within like half an inch of 16-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger arms at age 46, 47. Zach Tunes, yeah, I try that healthy stuff all the time, but the very next day I get caught with a Debbie cake or a cherry Coke in my hands. Yep, that's look down, Zach. Look down. This all the time, like all the other fat people. Again, coming from a former fat guy, Chloe Pomeroy. I get bullied a lot. Um, JS just said, I don't know how to is that just saying? Get sad as I have no idea what to do anymore as the teachers aren't doing anything about it. Unfortunately, Chloe, especially in public schools these days, the edgy. If I were you, other person, eat all the carbs, beef, chicken, yogurts. Cut out the sugars if possible. Cut out the grains if possible. I know they say eat oatmeal and salads and lettuce. And I know that aggravates the vegans, but I've tried veganism. I maintained a vegan diet for it's unhealthy, and I don't listen to anything a vegan has to say. I know a couple vegans that they're good people, and I'm not trying to pick a fight, and maybe it's just different strokes for different folks, but for the most part, I don't know a lot of healthy vegans, but anyway, yeah, if I was you, cut out the sugar, cut out the grains, eat chicken, and I ate a lot of onions and garlic and avocados, oranges for vitamin C, bananas, berries with my yogurt. Other than that, I just get lots and lots of protein. Get your heart rate up at least 20 minutes, rigorous daily exercise, and you won't see any notice anything for about like a month. And then after that, you'll just start noticing fat goes down, the protein that you're eating is able to build your muscles back up. You start sleeping better because my blood pressure is like low. Like, mom bought me this little. I have no idea what my cholesterol level is and blood pressure because I don't care. It doesn't. It's so, I sleep so good. I like this, but she bought me this little finger pulsometer. I don't know what you call it. It just measures your pulse, And I've woke up before. I put that thing on like from a dead sleep. My pulse at rest is like 45, 40, maybe 42. It is so, maybe it's because of the exercise, maybe it's because also I'm up high in the cold and I just do better in the cold. But anyway, Zach Tunes 2024 teachers will be all like, stop it, or you're going to the office. They won't do anything else. Well, truth be told, Zach, these teachers, a lot of them being women, they're little. And a lot of these out of control teenage boys are big, and the teachers, they're having to bluff half the time, or probably most of the time. They're scared to death of them, as they should be, because they're just a lot of these kids have they're the divorce rate is so high, and you got single moms raising boys with testosterone. And this isn't an attack on mothers or women in general, but moms have no clue how to raise boys to be men. They just don't. It's like a woman asking me how to deal with a period. Like, how the hell would I know? I've never had a period. I don't know what it's like to have a period. I don't know what it's like to have the hormones once a month, knowing that, that 28th day is on its way. And don't ask me, because I don't know how. I won't even pretend to know how. But it's the same with raising boys. It takes men to raise boys. It takes men who know what it's like to go through puberty as a boy with testosterone, and how to deal with your emotions and not be a big pussy, a big crybaby. They just don't know how to do it. And so you've got these teenage boys going to school being assholes to each other and getting picked on, and always having their defenses up and not knowing how to differentiate between foe and enemy, or friend and foe. And they just act like animals. And it's a shame, because it didn't used to be that way. If you can get out of the public school, I say get out. Go educate yourself. There's a vast resource called being online. You can go educate, find out whatever you want. You want to learn how to build something? There's a YouTube video about it. You want to learn how to, other than, being a medical doctor, or a board certified lawyer, or maybe an engineer, a specific type of engineer, other than just a few things, you don't really need public school and public education. If you have any kind of drive, there's trade schools, there's uh, people that are like, what do you call them, mentors, that'll just teach you things. Teachers will be okay. Turbocharged VR. What are you doing with all this RR stuff? Eric Jordan Caleb, no matter what, you have gotten so much wiser and nice. The older you get, I'm an old fan. I've been watching you from day one. Well, thanks, Eric. Seems like I remember seeing your name. But thank you. I'm trying. I'm like, I don't like being put in the same box as everyone else. I'm fully aware there are deadbeat douchey dads and douchey men that do douchey things, that treat women awful. And I hate getting grouped into that. That's why I like being so critical of myself. Hence the reason I'm making this video today, talking about being a dry drunk. I'd never heard that before. I mean, I guess I'd heard the name, but I didn't know what it meant. But Eric, thank you. Mazen, I'm not a little shit. I'm a saint. I'm his best friend. Ask him. You got a good sense of humor. Nicholas Alvarez, schools don't stop bullies. They punish kids for sticking up for themselves. Yeah, exactly. Nicholas, you nailed it. That's why public school in America is a complete joke. It's a joke. They're worthless. I get out of them. Get out. Now, I'm not saying every teacher that teaches in public schools, I'm not saying that at all. There are some good intentioned people, but they they're believe it or not, and I'm not trying to give you a civics class, and I'm not going to bore everybody, but the founding documents of this country, there's no such thing as the Department of Education. The federal government has no business being in the business of education. Period. End of story. It doesn't exist, or it shouldn't exist. It does now. You've got bureaucrats out of Washington, D.C., trying to tell the states how to run the independent school districts when there's nothing independent about them at all. It's all bureaucracy. Texas 10, Whataburger is my vice. I love Whataburger. I won't eat there anymore, and I haven't in years. But where I'm from, they have Whataburgers and Roses and Taco Villas, and I love them all. And I no longer eat them because it's just full. It's all shit. If you're not eating, if 80% of your calories are not coming from flesh or eggs or yogurt or milk of some kind, your body's not healthy. It's that's just, well, I started to say it's a fact. That is my opinion. And Whataburger has got a bread, which I don't eat bread. I don't eat any kind of grains. I just think that's what public school taught us we had to do. And the food pyramid in the public, I'm probably going to get demonetized for even saying this, but it's just crap. Zach Tunes, I can tell I'm embarrassing myself, but I don't really give two craps. Well, sometimes self humility is a good thing. It's a good way to reflect. Brett Chamberlain, you're an awesome guy, Caleb. Well, thank you, Brett. I appreciate that. Chloe Palmer, message retracted. Zach, I may be a fat guy, but at least know you need protein in your body. Well, I used to be a fat guy too, and I became not a fat guy. It's pretty cool how it works. High protein, low carbs, rigorous exercise every single day, no alcohol, sleep well, drink plenty of water. It's a great combination. Nelson Garcia, I'd like to listen to this longer, but I have to get up and go to sleep. All right, Nelson, take care. I'm about to go myself. I've been live. My eyes are getting crossed. 82 minutes. Yeah, I'm about. Sleep is underrated. Food is underrated. Marriage and kids are overrated. Hardy har har. Mazen, I need to know what were Mexicans thinking when they invented quesadillas, tacos, burritos, because damn Mexican food is undefeated. Amen. They were thinking this tastes amazing. We can make a lot of money because it's yummy. The only downside is all that crap has got such low protein. Obviously, you can get the fajitas, but I just cut out all the other stuff and eat just the fajitas with the onions and the garlic. Chloe Pomeroy, Merry Christmas tomorrow, everyone. Hope you're having a good time. Well, Chloe, thanks so much and good luck. I really hope y'all, everyone who watches this, really gives your health a chance. Focus on you. Quit worrying about everybody else and their opinion of you and the neediness bullshit. Because if you let people suck you dry, and I'm not trying to be gross, I'm talking about mental, take up all your time, and they we used to call them assholes because they would ask your opinion on something, and you'd go into all these details, give them advice, and they'd do the exact opposite. They wouldn't listen. They just like asking and wasting your time. Take care of yourself. There's really nothing, other than if you're a mom and you got an infant, duh, you have to take care of your child. But outside of that, quit doing favors for the neighbors and the PTA and all this other bullshit for everybody else. Focus on yourself. Because if you're not strong and you're not healthy, you feel like ass, you feel like crap, you can't help anybody else for shit. You've got to take care of yourself. All right, y'all. Georgia says, hello, Georgia. Hey, Caleb, Merry Christmas. Dannon's here somewhere. I didn't see it. There she is. Just got here. Well, Dannon, dadgummit. Your ears burning. I was talking about, I had some Moderators here, but I hadn't seen you. I'm 84 minutes in. My eyes are crossed. It's getting late, and I'm losing my voice, so I'm about to go. But thanks for zapping whoever it is you zapped. And oh yeah, Maz and Dan, they know each other. Yeah, getting late. But anyway, Georgia, she's a member. I forget. I feel terrible. One of those star member people, and uh, I feel stupid. I feel silly. I can't even remember. It's been so long since I've gone live. Texas 10, definitely going to start making more changes with my diet and exercise. I've been half-assing it for sure. Good, good. Let me know how it goes, Texas 10. That's going to be something I talk about a lot. And when I get set up with my podcast, and I may even get some gym equipment at my new place if there's enough room, and just show y'all what I do and show off my, as Madison says, my tiny little. Uh, you can't tell me that's tiny, Mazin. I've got three shirts on. You can still see my bicep through it. So anyway, y'all been great. Enjoyed it. Take care. Consider not hitting your cheerings, and I'll go live. I don't know, maybe in a few days. Have a Merry Christmas. If I have something to chit chat about, I'll throw it in the community section. And if y'all have got requests or anything y'all would like to talk about or fill me in on, uh, we'll talk about in the community section. Y'all take care. Bye.